Welcome to Alive and Streaming. I'm Ted, your co-host. Co-host. I'm your host today. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. And today is going to be a fun one for me because I get to chat it up with an old friend, a dear friend. We go way back. Some of you might know him from Machine Head. He was on the Burning Red album and Supercharger, and he was also in El Nino for quite a few years. And on this stream, we're going to be talking. I'll touch upon Machine Head and El Nino a little bit, but I want to talk about his new band, Lions at the Gate, and we're going to trip down memory lane and talk about the early Bay Area thrash scene and his band, the Horde of Torment. So please welcome Ahrue Luster. He's in the waiting room. He should be coming in any minute. Hello,
Right.
Ahrue.
What's up, Ted? How you
How are
doing,
you,
man?
man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, dude. Thank you for coming on, man. I've been looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun,
Yeah, me too. Me as well.
dude. Like I was telling the viewers earlier here that you've been in Machine Head, you've been in
Yep.
El Nino, and I want to talk about Machine Head and El Nino just a little bit. But if anyone who's watching wants to get the full spectrum of Aru's time in Machine Head, you could go watch Rob Flynn's No Fucking Regrets because I saw that episode with you in it. It was awesome.
Oh, nice. Thank
It
you.
was good. You guys have some good history to talk about, and it was cool to see. I mean, you were in a band together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. We had a lot of memories, and that podcast brought up a lot of great memories and just feelings, and it was awesome. It was actually really awesome to do that podcast with Rob.
Yeah, yeah. I bet, dude. I bet. But dude, I want to talk about your new band, Lions at the Gate, which is
Right on.
really cool. I want to talk about, like I said earlier, a little bit of Machine Head El Nino. But let's go down memory lane here, dude. I really,
Sure.
really want to talk about the Horde of Torment, which
Sounds like
I,
the plan.
which I've been, I've after I listened to your conversation with Rob and he brought up the Horde of Torment, I was like, oh shit, I, I had to go back and listen to it. I was like, oh man, this is bad as hell, dude. So we have to
Right on.
talk about that. Now, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Your new band, Lines at the Gate, it's with Diego and Christian from El Nino, right?
Yes.
Now, do they know about your history with the thrash scene?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I've been in a band. I've pretty much been in a band with Christian for like 17 years,
Uh huh.
and with Diego for about 10 years. So they know. I mean, we know. I mean, when you tour with somebody, you get to learn pretty much everything about them.
Yeah,
So
I was texting with Diego. What's up, Diego? He's watching, and he was like,
yeah.
"Oh man, I'm looking forward to hearing the stories." I'm like, "Well, I'll call you out, dude. Don't worry. I'll make you famous on my stream too, Diego. And I
Nice.
want to say what's up to Christian too. Yada yada yada. But dude, let's talk about the Horde of Torment. Now, everyone who's watching, I want to give a brief history of the Horde of Torment, and because we have a connection here. Back in like was it? It was like 88 through 91, 92. Like the Bay Area thrash scene was really thriving,
Yeah.
especially the third wave of thrash metal, which
Hmm.
of course, the Horde of Torment with you, me and Will Carroll's band Warfare DC, and there was so many bands I could name them off. There was Chaos,
Yep.
Militia,
Hmm.
Annihilation. In San Francisco, you had 50 Lashes, Wrecking Machine. Then you got the South Bay with Epidemic. Remember all those bands?
Yeah. Defiance.
Defiance.
Yep.
And during that time, we would either play together or we would fight to get on these national act shows.
Yes.
You know, it was like insane. So that's the history I want to get into the Horde of Torment. Now, you guys were from Las Vegas, but you were originally known as Pestilence.
Yep. So we it was about 89 maybe, and we decided that I mean, because we were a thrash band, and we wanted, I mean, we didn't have that Bay Area sound, but we kind of, like I said in Rob's podcast, we sounded like a cross between Dark Angel, Darkness Descends, and Rain and Blood. Pretty much like those were the two biggest albums that I was listening to at the time, and I wrote most of the music, so it kind of, when you're that young, you're very impressionable. So everything that you're hearing, you write something similar.
Oh, totally.
And we got to the Bay Area, probably about '89, and there was when we started, there was like 4 other bands called Pestilence that we learned about in the underground scene, and we heard all of them. So we thought we were better than all of them. So we were like, oh, we don't have to change our name. They're going to have to change theirs. But the Dutch Pestilence ended up getting signed, and now they're like a pretty historic band. So we were the ones that had to change our name.
Now wait a minute. Did Pestilence ever play the Bay Area? I have a vague memory of me and Will Carroll going to see. We were trying to go see Dark Angel at the Stone, and I think Pestilence was on it. Was that you guys, or was it?
Yeah, that was us.
Okay.
We played a couple shows under the name Pestilence, including the Riot show. I mean, that was under Pestilence. And our very first show was at Gilman Street.
As Pestilence?
Yeah, as Pestilence.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And wait, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't have, dude, it's been a while. I used to have the demo Pestilence, and the demo was called Infected. Am I correct?
Yep.
See? The red demo, right?
The red one, yep.
Yeah.
Kinko's. We printed, like, back in the day, everybody printed their demos at Kinko's and cut them out and
stuffed them in there and carried them and, hope to get rid of them. Now, dude, did you change the name to the Horde of Torment before you moved to the Bay Area?
No, that was about probably, I can't remember, maybe about 3 to 6 months after we had been in the Bay Area. That's when we realized we had to change the name, and it took us months and months. Like, and I'm sure you know what it's like trying to choose a band name. It's like you
Come
just
on, man. It's hard, dude.
Yeah, it's like harder than choosing a kid's name. It's like,
totally.
Because you have 4 people that have to agree to it, or 5 people, or 6 people, whatever.
Yeah.
And it took us a long time. And we actually had a good friend of ours from Las Vegas. His name was James Bagley, and he had a project called Jaime Garland and the Horde of Torment. And then he decided not to go forward with the project, and that was the only name that we all liked. So we're like, hey, bro, can we use your name, the name of your band? And he's like, sure, why not? So that's what we decided on.
Dude, that's a killer name, bro.
Right on, man.
That is a killer name. Coming from Pestilence and the Horde of Torment, that sounded like, it sounded like bad news, but in a good way. You get what I mean?
Yeah, and it had a little bit of the Masters of the Universe Skeletor. Wasn't like Skeletor's evil horde, like on the commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Now, now I want to talk about, I think, the demo Product of a Sick Mind. Am I correct? That's Product of a Sick Mind. Was that recorded in Vegas or in the Bay Area?
That was recorded in Vegas, but that was after we decided that we were going to move to the Bay Area. So we started kind of like our sound started to change then. So like on that demo, there was definitely some influence from some Bay Area bands already.
Okay, and when you got up here, I mean, because you guys are from Vegas, when you got up here, it must have been a trip, right, to just be in the Bay Area, because you guys basically moved here to be a part of the scene.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, the cool thing was like Craig LaCicero from Forbidden. He's also from Vegas too, like before he moved to the Bay Area. So I think he started, I forget how the contact was made, but he came to a couple of our rehearsals in Vegas, and he kind of helped us to transition from Vegas to the Bay Area, and like introduced us to the scene and people in the scene, as well as, just kind of told us what to prepare for. So that was really like, it would have been really hard to do without him being there.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen you guys quite a few times. We played together quite a few times, and, and I do want to talk about this because it still does happen in Southern Cal. I don't know if it happens around the world, but we had to deal with pay to play.
Yeah.
And people out there who don't know about pay to play, if you're not from California, I don't know if it happens around the world, but what we experience, if we wanted to be, for example, if Testament came to the Stone or the Omni, and all these local bands would try to fight to be on that tour, which we always did.
Yeah.
And if just say the Horde of Torment got it, they'd probably give you like, all right, you got to sell 100 tickets at $20 a piece.
Yeah.
And that's like what, $2,000 if you sell all of them, and
Yeah.
you gotta give half of it to the venue, and the half of it's yours. But back then we weren't really into making profit. We were just hoping to get rid of the tickets so we could play the show and pay the club. So we always had to do those 2-for-1 offers. You know what I mean? You ever did that? Like, hey,
so
buy 2
it's
tickets.
like you end up getting rid of all the tickets, but you only have the money for the club and you don't have any left over for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we used to do that, but you know what? And I've talked about this with somebody a while ago. I think it was I forgot who, but the only thing good about pay to play was it made us go to each other's shows and everyone else's shows to get rid of our tickets.
That's a good point. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, we were at every show selling tickets.
Same here.
Yeah.
I think I might have bought a ticket to one of your shows when you played a national or something. I think when you played with, I don't know, but I remember buying a ticket from you or Kevin, one of the two, Kevin or Scott.
Yeah.
So that I look at that as a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it made you like work hard to get the shows, but yeah, it worked out.
Dude, I remember playing Product of a Sick Mind all the time back in the day. You know what I mean? Cruising around and driving it. And I'm going to play the song.
Okay.
It's funny because I looked at it on YouTube and I was listening to it, but it was some dude who, I guess, ripped it from vinyl, and there was a skip. You know what I mean?
Really?
I'm like, no, man, I can't do that on the stream. So what I did was I did have I think it was Dive Bomb Records that released all your demos. I think.
I don't remember the record label, but yeah, somebody, I think it was a German label that did that.
Some label, and Marco, our good friend of ours, Marco, sent me the CD, and I have the MP3, and I just want to let everyone know. I mean, Diego Christian, your boy here, was a thrash metal dude before what he is now, fine, young, handsome man. So, dude, I'm gonna play. Well, let me share my screen here. This is the album cover for the re-release. Am I correct?
Yeah. That was Paul Stotler that did some of the early Sacred Reich album covers.
Yeah,
drew that for us.
Yeah, dude, look at that logo, dude. That's a logo that's badass, and it looks good in green.
Right. Yeah, that was our colors. It was like green and purple.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna play the song from this record to everyone because I want everyone to know what the Horde of Torment sound like, and this is one of my favorite songs. And this song, As I Lay Dying, what's really cool about it, I like Kevin's voice, and the solo section, you and Scott trade off. It's really cool. Then it gets down to this really heavy, break. For lack of a better term, breakdown where Kevin sings fucking really intense. Then you guys venture off into the Dark Angel vibe. Yeah. Then
that's super fast.
super fast. Then it comes around to let me see. Then it comes around to the beginning, which is fucking awesome. So I'm gonna play it for everyone here. Where's my screen here? Hold on. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Hold on. There it is, dude. See, I don't have it. I don't have a video for the Horde of Torment. So everyone, this is As I Lay Dying from the Horde of Torment.
Contemplate my existence the future I'll never see. Observing my surroundings, things that I'll see last. Distorted recollection of a sick, demented past. The crime I committed was murder. I killed my stupid bitch. I jabbed the knife right down her throat, sat and watched her twitch. I fucked newborn corpse, should've seen the look on her face. I waited and saw to bring some life, but I didn't show no haze. For the incident, I'm not innocent. I left her DOA. Now, silent dying, I accept the price I pay. Yeah. They press the needle into my arm as I fought with all my might. The poison now mistakes my blood like a venomous serpent's bite. The numbness covers my body, my destiny takes form. War goes to the reaper, breathes with loving arms. For the incident, I'm not innocent. I left her DOA. Now, silently dying, I accept the price I pay. Just for my eyes, memories I once knew, now lost, fate of the past. Death once distant, now waits, dying with a deep caress. To lose me down, I feel no regret. Darkness is all that I see. Something about this, yes I
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I haven't heard that song in so many years, man.
Dude, that's a bad as fuck song, dude. You know,
Right
and
on, man.
I want to
Thank you
let
so much.
no, dude, no, thank you, bro. I mean, I just want to let the listeners know because I usually have like, you know, I've had like big guests, like I had the Violence Dudes, I got my
Yeah, yeah.
bandmates and all that, and we talk about that. But what I wanted and you're the perfect guest for this because we were there. You know, we
Yeah.
were the third wave of thrash, and having to go back and listen to that stuff, it was like, ah, man, this was really good. It was really
Right
good.
on, man.
And you guys started to get a really good following in the Bay Area too.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys were headlining some clubs. Like, whoa, man, you guys were coming up. You guys were on your way up, and you guys were about to get signed at one point.
that's what, yeah, we kind of felt like we got to this plateau. And Monty Connor from Roadrunner was really interested in the band at the time. And he liked what we were doing before we moved to the Bay Area. But
You
then
like the
when
Pestilence demo?
yeah, like that stuff. But then when we moved to the Bay Area, we started sounding more like the Bay Area bands, and we kind of lost the sound that we had. And we made our third demo, and it was like really, really Bay Area influenced. And when he heard that one, he was just like, now you guys sound like all those other, you know, all the bands from the Bay Area, and you don't have a unique sound anymore. And it kind of just crushed us. So we were I don't think we ever recovered from that. And that's kind of when everything started to fall apart.
Now wait a minute. Was that second demo called Inherit the Sin?
That was the third demo.
Okay.
Product of a Sick Mind was the second one, and the first one was Infected.
Okay.
But by the third demo, we were sounding really, you know, we had a lot of similarities to the Bay Area sound.
Oh man, I mean, it would have been good to see you guys sign and do something about it because you guys were getting some traction out in the Bay Area, but also the fanzines around the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like luckily we had Marco Barbieri with us at the time, and it was in his early years because he was going to school for entertainment management.
Yeah.
And he was managing us at the same time, and then he had his fanzine.
Yeah.
So he was like really really ingrained in the scene and just starting to like, I mean, well, he also had a lot of connections with all the fanzines. So that's what helped us get into a lot of the fanzines around the world. And it was so crazy. Like metal back then was all tape trading and fanzines that were printed at Kinko's, basically.
Yep. I mean, Marco I won't mention the name because, you know, it's politically incorrect, his first fanzine, but his second fanzine, Illiterature.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really good one. That was like an actual real magazine, where his first one, which I won't name, it was more Kinko's. But, you know, out of all the Bay Area bands, like the third wave of thrash, you guys were one of my favorites. Epidemic, 50 Lashes, Wrecking Machine. You know, and it's really good to see like with us in the late 80s, early 90s, and here we are talking about it, but we're still playing music, but we're in two different types of bands, which is good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, which it's good to see. Like we could talk about what we're talking about now and like bring us back to memory lane, but you know, come forward, we're like, dude, you're still here. It's fucking awesome, man.
I know, man. What is it, like 20? I don't even, my math is bad, but it's like 25 years later or something like that.
Yeah, I
probably
met you
more
in
than
90.
that.
I met you in 90, 89, 90 is probably when you had that long, beautiful curly
Dang,
hair.
that's a long ass time. Oh yeah, I had long curly hair, so like sometimes people would there would be people that came up to me and thought I was Kirk Hammett or Mark, your singer.
Yeah, because you had that long curly hair. You know what I mean? You wore the leather jacket. Now, before I close out on the Horde of Torment, what is the rest of the guys from the Horde of Torment doing nowadays?
The crazy thing is I'm good friends with most of them. So like I still go to Vegas maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and I hang out with Kevin all the time. Scott lives in Austin now.
Okay.
And I saw him a few years ago when we came through. But we're all like on a group chat, and we pretty much chat every single day still.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You ever guys thought about getting back together just for fun, just at least just to get in the jam room to jam these songs? You ever thought about that?
There was a time where we were about to start doing that, and I actually started recording like a new version of As They Lay Dying, and some of the other songs, and Kevin came down and he sang it. I think I have it on a file somewhere, and we were gonna like re-release those songs with like better production and stuff. But I don't know. I don't even remember what happened with that. We ended up not doing it.
Wow. But is everyone still playing music though?
Yeah, like I mean, as far as I know, like I know Kevin is definitely doing a lot. Like he has a Nirvana tribute band called Smells Like Nirvana.
Okay. Dude,
Yeah.
perfect. He's a blonde dude, and he plays bass, and he's a lefty.
Yeah, and he's
So-
playing guitar in this band. So and he's got the blonde hair and everything. So it's like they sound really good. Like they sound like dead on like Nirvana.
Oh
and
man.
and they get some like really good paying gigs too, like at casinos and stuff like that.
Of course, tribute bands and all that. You
Yeah.
get, the only thing good about that, I mean, you get to play, one, and two, the money's good, I hear.
Yeah, the money's really good. Like some of those bands are making like more than original bands.
Yeah,
But,
totally.
And sometimes it's like I would rather go see a show with like tribute bands because like the songs are already, I mean, they're great songs usually that they're playing, and as long as they do them good, sometimes it's better than hearing some songs that that are really rough and need some polish.
Yeah, I hear you. And Scott, was it Scott Savage?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's living in Austin, and I seen some videos. He still plays guitar. I know that because I see him play guitars in some of his Facebook videos, but I don't think he's like jamming with anybody or anything like that.
Well, the good thing is you guys are all live.
Mm-hmm.
You guys keep in touch, and you guys are still playing in some form. Like Kevin's doing the tribute. You're doing Lions at the Gate, but you've done some stuff with Machine Head and El Nino. Scott's still playing, but I just wanted to start this whole thing off with the Horde of Torment as an appreciation because I love that band.
Right on, man. That's so cool, man. That's another trip down memory lane, man. And
I had to play the song, dude. I was like, oh man, I wanted to talk during the song, like, oh, check out this break, this solo, but I didn't want to ruin the experience for people who are listening online right now. I just want them you got to hear the Horde of Torment. So.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to like know that all these people are listening to it. It was like almost like people see you naked or something.
Dude, it's a good song, dude. Hopefully, you know what? I mean, when we end this later, because I still want to chat with you, we got to get some info on where people could get the Horde of Torment stuff, because it's good shit, man.
Okay,
good shit.
I'm not sure, but I know Marco Barbieri is the one that was like responsible for putting out that version you have. So
okay,
yeah,
I'll get the info and I'll post it up and all that.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. I mean, I'm going to skip some timelines here. I mean, you've done some stuff after the Horde. I remember you did Pulse.
Yeah.
With band. And you did Man-Made God with Craig LaCicero and Matt Camacho, the earlier versions. Because I remember seeing you in Fremont, at a club in Fremont.
Yeah. Was that with, man, I forget the name of that band. It was like I can't remember.
I could tell you, it was you guys in a band called Big Shrimp. It was Dennis from Death Angel. It was his punk band along with
I remember
Mike
that
Bercali and some other people. It was Big Shrimp and Man-Made God. I forgot what club in Fremont, but I saw you there.
Yeah.
I saw that show there. And Man-Made God was a trippy band, dude. It was like way out there. It was it was, new. I think the band was ahead of its time at the time.
Yeah, we were doing some it was like a cross between, like when I was in the band, it was like had some doom type elements in it.
Totally.
And Mike Sullivan singing, and his voice is just really like unique, and the way that he works with effects and stuff, it was just really different.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to, Mike Sullivan. I mean, he was like a Lane Staley. He was kind of like whacked out a little bit, right? But he had a vibe to him with that band.
Yes, definitely. Like he was one of those. I mean, but like it's the case with most lead singers, though. It's like they're just a little strange.
Yeah. Some of them, some are not. But dude, okay, you did Man-Made God. Now you got the Machine Head gig, and when I was listening to you and Rob Flynn's conversation, I mean that was a big gig for you, dude. It must have been tripped out, huh?
Dude, I mean that's an understatement. I mean, I was like playing in local bands all the way up into that point, and then just kind of getting thrust into doing something like that at that level. And, you know, at that time, like the Burning Red was probably one of their biggest selling albums in the US. And just that whole time was like, everything was popping. And in the beginning, like it was overwhelming for me. Like I would show up to the rehearsal door and my whole body would be filled with anxiety before I even like knocked or like opened the door. And it was a crazy experience.
Yeah, I mean, you came in at the beginning of the writing sessions for Burning Red, right? Was the Burning Red already written, or were you guys starting?
They had 5 songs already, 4 or 5 songs, and then it was actually crazy because one of the songs, like when I started submitting ideas, you know, for songs and stuff, I had this riff that we used in Man-Made God. I don't know if I think we didn't use it in Man-Made God because Craig thought it sounded he's like, that sounds too much like Machine Head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it ended up becoming the Machine Head song Silver.
Oh, wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, I mean, that album, I mean, I like that album. When I went back and listened to it, what I can't get over to me, the songs are good, it's just the production is a bit hard for me. Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't use Colin. You used someone else, right? Was it?
Ross Robinson recorded the album, and then Terry Date mixed it.
Yeah, I mean,
so it was like
total Ross Robinson sound.
Yeah, it was like it had that raw element. There was like a lot of. I mean, Ross's whole thing is like capturing the emotion of the performance, and especially with the vocalist. So it's like he really had Rob dig in deep to like emotions that you know, maybe it was almost like therapy, like what he was singing was coming out in therapy. And Ross wasn't so concerned with like how well everything sounded. Okay. But then Terry Date mixed it, who, you know, mixed Pantera's albums and a lot of other stuff. And I like when Terry, I was there when Terry was bringing up the files, like, you know, to go through to mix, and he was just like swearing and cussing because like the way that they were recorded. So he didn't have the best tracks to work with, like sonically, but he made it work though. So like Ross, I know one of the things was like normally like in a modern production, like the toms are each tom is on its individual track. Yeah. All the toms were on a stereo bus, so like he couldn't really separate them or do anything, and he was like cussing, man. He was like pissed off.
So Ross was more about capturing vibe.
Yeah, totally.
Gotcha. Now touring for the Burning Red must have been incredible, man. I mean, it's your first tour. I mean, Machine Head was huge at the time, and you're stepping in going, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Totally. It was like, I mean, to this day, it's probably, you know, one of the biggest touring cycles I've ever done. And just getting thrown into that from doing nothing but local shows was like just an overwhelming experience. After about 6 months though, that's when I finally started to feel comfortable in my own skin and with everything. And then I really started to enjoy it and started to come into my own, but still it was like an overwhelming deal, like to be touring on that kind of level.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a culture shock, like you said, from a local level. Then here you are. We're getting on the bus. We're going to go like 2 months in the States, and we're going to go like 3 months in Europe. You're like a whirlwind. You know?
Yeah, I think we toured that album for like 18 months pretty much straight without, I mean, we had a little time off here and there, but it was just like nonstop pedal to the metal.
Dude, and then after that touring cycle, you did Supercharger. You started writing for Supercharger. Mm-hmm. But when Supercharger was released, there was a lot against you. That was like 2001, around 9/11.
Yep.
You know?
And we had our first single was Crashing Around You, and we shot a video with like buildings falling down, and it was like basically the worst thing you could ever create during that time. So like I don't even know if the video got released, or if it did, it didn't really do much. And then it was just a bad time for us to release a song like that, and that was like the first single of the album. And not only that, like there was a lot of internal like turmoil in the band, and people were kind of disjointed and wanting to go in different directions. So it was just like that was like my experience on the Burning Red was like amazing, and that's like those will always be some of the best memories of my life. But Supercharger was like, it was just this weird time more than anything.
There's always a weird time in a band with an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone has that weird time for an album cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember that time. Dave left. He played with the band Systematic for just a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he came back.
Yeah.
I remember that instance. And you left. I mean, why did you leave Machine Head?
I mean, like now that all these years later, and when I think about it now, it was just pretty much young egos.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, I mean, it came down to like Rob didn't want anybody in the band to do side projects.
Okay.
And I wanted to do a side project, and that was the main thing we were fighting over. And
okay.
And it got to a point where, like, and Rob has come a long way, and he's had a lot of self-growth as have I. But he was like, the way that he dealt with it was like he was yelling at me, and I'm the type of person that just, I don't like, if someone's yelling at me, I just can't deal with it. And I just, like, at that point I was just like, no, I'm not doing this.
Wow.
And it can't, but when it comes down to it, it's basically just like young egos to me.
Yeah, it was cool because I did text Rob. I go, hey, man, that was a good conversation with Ahrue. I have him on my stream, and he replied back. He goes, it was really good to reconnect. So time apart was, time away is good. You know what I mean?
And it was like a slow building thing. Like at first we were, we didn't talk to each other, and then we would say a couple words to each other. And then I started coming to Machine Head shows when they'd come to town. And then we had that podcast. So it was like, it probably took about 10 years from the time that we first made contact until the point where we were able to have share memories like that on the podcast.
Yeah, man. It was a good conversation. Now, is there anything you learned from being in that band?
Oh man, I learned everything from being in that band. I mean, I learned so much from Rob. Rob taught me so much about the music industry and music, and it's like a lot of lessons that I've learned from Rob. It's like I carry with them all the time, and like I would say I learned more in that experience than I had from all the time since then.
Wow, dude! Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's good that you learned a lot of stuff. And now it's transitioning. You joined El Nino. You've been in El Nino 17 years, dude.
17
right?
years, yeah.
That's a long fucking time, bro.
Yeah.
Now, that must have been, 17 years is a good run. I'm sure you had your ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
There's some good highlights and all that. And it's documented out there that, the split, you guys had a split. There was it's like the Temptations, like 3 of you left and the other 2 stayed type deal.
Yeah.
And I do, I want to get into your new band, Lions at the Gate.
Okay.
I've checked out the single,
mm-hmm.
and I said, man, it's pretty good. It's not thrash, but it's total what you guys are doing. You, Diego and Christian. It's like you come a long way. You went in a different direction, which I really appreciate. And I listened to it, and I was like, all right, this is a cool tune. I really dig it. I could picture it being played at open air festival in either Hellfest or Grass Pop.
Right on.
Chanting, you know how that is at the festivals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a song. It's a total festival song. Then
that's awesome. Thank you.
I listened to it again after I saw your conversation with Rob, and there was something I want to bring up on the stream.
Okay.
It seemed like this, Lions at the Gate kind of saves you in a way, because you had a rough 6 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your life, that when Lions at the Gate kind of came at the right time, that kind of lifted you up and brought you back into, all right, man, everything's going to be better,
Totally.
Do you mind talking about what you went through in the 6 years, man?
Not at all. I mean, about 6 years ago, it all started when I found out that my dad had pancreatic cancer. Usually when you have pancreatic cancer, it's usually about 3 months, from the time, and it was stage 4. So it was like when we found out, he passed away. And then a year after that, my mom passed away, and then my stepmom passed away. Or she's not literally my stepmom, but she was with my dad for like most of my life, so that's what I considered her. Lost some friends like Jack Cargile, some other people, and then I went through a separation with my wife.
Oh wow!
And that was about 2 years ago. And then right after that, we had a legal battle for the name El Nino, because we were trying to continue as well. And we got to a point where I don't know how much of the details of this I can go into, because I know that we made an agreement, but
totally understandable, bro.
Yeah. So we just,
it's out there. It's out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, people could see like what went, a lot of what happened and what we were, what our side was, but basically like we couldn't continue on with that band anymore either. And it was a decision, I guess it was a group decision that all parties made. But so pretty much everything that was a constant in my life for most of my life, or at least the last 17 years, ended all within the 6-year period. So it was like almost like starting a new life, like a completely new life. The only thing that was a constant is like a lot of my friends and my daughter, but everything else is like new. So it's kind of like just a whole new start and a whole new starting over in my life. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And so Diego was really the one that kind of got everything going. Like it was like, cause I was had gone through so much stuff that I wasn't even sure if I wanted to try to do like a professional band again. Or I knew I always wanted to do music, but I didn't know if I wanted to like, go full force and like try to tour and all that stuff. So I wasn't even, I had no idea what I wanted. At the same time, it's like I was trying to figure out like my income and like how I was going to make money and all that stuff. And so Diego's like, all right, man, I got this guy, Kyle Odell. He's an awesome producer, and I want to start doing a record. And I was just like, at the time, I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not. I was just like, I don't even know if I want to do that. But then something in me said, you know what, you should just like, no matter how much you feel like you don't want to do it or whatever you're feeling, just go try it, go try it and see what happens. So we had like a 10-day recording. We did the album in 2 parts, like 2 10-day sessions. And the first one, I came away from it and I was like, wow, that was a pretty good experience. That was cool. I liked it. And then a couple months later, we did the second 10-day for the other 5 songs. And I felt even better about that one. So it started, this momentum started building inside of me of like, you know what? I mean, this is kind of feeling good. And then we started getting the mixes back. Because, a lot of times you don't know exactly what a song's going to sound like until you start to hear the mixes. Yeah. And so the first song came in and I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool, And then the second came in and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool too. Then the third song came in and I was like, wow, that one's pretty awesome. And then they started getting like, it seemed like they were just getting better and better until it got to the last song. And the last song, at that point, I was like, man, even if this last song sucks, it's still, I'm still completely happy with this album. And then we got the last song, and the song was called Find My Way. And it was almost like divine intervention. It was the song that I needed to hear at that time in my life. And it just like, when I put it on, I literally just like burst into tears. And then I played it about 20 more times just in a row. And each time I played it, the same reaction. Like, I mean, I was like, it was like a catharsis. It was just like all of the stuff that I had been carrying for the past 6 years, all kind of just came out at that time. And it made me just kind of realize, like, my whole life I've been trying to do music or like in bands, and that was always my purpose. And so it just brought me back to my purpose, and that's playing music and playing metal music, you know. And it was like a spiritual experience for me.
You know, and I think that that's really cool because this, like I said, after I heard that story on your conversation with Rob, I went back and listened to it, and I had a whole different. I listened to it and looked at it from a whole different perspective, which I said, you know what, right on, man. You know what I mean? If music speaks to people differently, different styles, and if it's gonna help you get out of the rut that you're in, I'm all for it, dude. Regardless of what music you play or whatnot, you know what I mean?
100%.
And I'm there like, I'll support this. I'll support my bros, Diego and Christian. And shout out to Diego. He helped you, get out of your rut. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I think that's really cool. It shows some a good friendship, and and it's kind of like a full circle. It made you go, all right, man, I'm gonna do this again. And being musicians, at the root of it all, it's the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything else you could just deal with. Like, if the music makes you feel good, that's the important thing. And if it makes other people feel good, that's hella icing on the cake, man.
Yeah.
Regardless of what style you play, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? If it's going to help you feel better and make other people feel better, we kind of need that in this world today.
100%. Like music. I mean, I went through I'm sure a lot of people that play music have gone through like a lot of troubled years in their teens or growing up. And music is the thing that kind of like gave them something to identify with and
Totally.
And something to like, a lot of the vocals or the lyrics connect with people and basically tell them that they're not alone and other people feel that way. And I don't know, like the whole thing of what music did to me as a teenager, it's still continuing to do that for me. And it's such an honor for me to be able to be that for somebody else,
Yeah, totally, man. I know the
know what
feeling.
I mean?
We could relate, like you play a different style of metal. I play a different style of metal from each other. But at the end of the day, it's music, bro. You know what I mean? And, we get to talk about it. We get to, share it with people. And there's people out there who like it. And, in metal in general, and, you could, you'll probably relate it. We played around the world, dude. And the one common language is music.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You get to a festival in Europe, there's how many countries in that crowd, backstage and in the crowd, but they're there for the music. And one thing good about the festivals, and I remember we played Grass Pop together.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
And Wacken too.
And Valken, yeah. You guys were on one stage, we're on another, and it's just a different scene, different vibe, but everyone's there to support it. You know what I mean? Now, if it was like that around, even in the States, oh man, the world would be so much better with music.
Totally.
It is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Like I said, it's really good to see you play again. I know you've gone through some tough stuff, and hearing that you're back with, your bros, Diego and Christian, playing music that makes you guys happy. I'm all for it, bro. I've known you since '90, and I'm glad you're still doing it, man.
Right on, man. Appreciate it, and likewise, man. I'm glad to see you like all these years later, still fucking rocking.
Yeah, dude, it's in the blood, right? It's like
pretty much.
Yeah, sometimes you step away from it because there was times where I wasn't playing. Then it just, like you said, something brings you back.
Yeah.
Something brings you back. Now, dude, I do want to play "Lines at the Gate," your official music video for Not Human.
Okay.
To the rest of the listeners here. And like I said, man, like after the second listen and after hearing what you go through, I have a different way of listening to it, and I hope people who watch this and heard your story have a different way of listening to it too. So let's check out, everyone. This is "Lines at the Gate," Not Even Human.
All right.
There we go.
Right on, man.
Hey,
Thanks for
dude.
playing
Right
that.
on, dude. First and foremost, I'm glad you're back into playing.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you and Diego and Christian got it going. You know, it's been a tough time for you guys from what's online with the, how would you say it, legal battles and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got through all the stuff that you've been through. It was hard, but, you know, the strength to get over it and to put you where you're at now. You look like a happy dude. You know what I mean?
Man. It's like crazy, man. It's like, you know, through my separation and through you know, the not being able to continue with the name. It's like when it's happening, you think it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But then like a couple, you know, like a year later, you think it's the best thing in the world. Like we made an album that like we feel like we couldn't have made in the other situation.
Yeah.
And we are much happier now than we would have been if we were like continuing with the other band.
I mean, things happen for a reason, bro. It sucks
Exactly,
to say that.
yeah.
It does suck to say that when it's happening at that moment. It sucks, but you know, if you have the strength to get over it, you know what I mean, and you got some good friends around you, then everything's good, dude.
Totally.
Everything's good. Now, dude, we're getting to a close here,
Okay.
and before I let you go, let my bro go. I have 12 questions called the Dirty Dozens. I'm gonna fire them
Okay.
away, and you gotta answer them, bro. I do this
All right.
to all my guests. Here we go.
Wait, let me get a drink.
All right, I'm gonna get a drink too. I have coffee.
I got I got some white wine in a coffee cup.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with white wine. My wife
Yeah.
loves white wine and red wine. I just have cafe. All right,
Right
you
on.
ready, Ahrue?
Yep.
Mild or spicy?
Spicy.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
All right, a movie you could watch over and over again.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Dude, I think Kragan from Heathen said the exact same thing.
That's my favorite movie of all times. I get like, if I'm sick, I'll put it on in the background just because it comforts me like a mother or something.
Dude, that's funny. That's right on, man. Kragan from Heathen said the same thing.
Awesome.
Your biggest pet peeve?
Bad drivers.
What you trying to say, bro? Hey, what time does your alarm clock go off in the morning?
I don't use one.
Your internal.
Yeah, internal. Probably lately about 7:30.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
But dude, it's funny how a lot of people I talk to, it's like early, but back in the day, you're like, oh, dude, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You're just getting out of bed and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? But
That's
now,
on tour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. A song you could sing when you're all alone. A song you love to sing. Come on, bro.
Man. Dang. That's a hard one.
Come on. We all have those songs, man.
Man, what's the name of that Frank Sinatra song? I Did It My Way.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Your dream vacation.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing about you that probably annoys others.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm a little nitpicky and controlling.
Okay, man. All right, dude. What's your favorite smell?
Coffee.
Wow, I think that's the first. That's the first on my show. And I
Yeah?
like coffee too. I love coffee. All right.
Yeah, I love coffee.
All right. An instrument you wish you could play.
Piano.
Oh, good. Speaking of, now that we're talking to instruments, I'm going to get back to this when I'm
Okay.
done. On a scale of 1 to 5, how good of a dancer are you, Ahrue?
0.
All right, man. What did you have for breakfast today?
I didn't have wine, I guess.
Wine for breakfast. Oh my God, dude. Now I want to get back, dude. I mean, the last time I saw you, you have a daughter,
Yeah.
and she rips on the violin. Am I correct?
Yeah, she was like, she started when she was 4, and I would spend like at least an hour a day with her on violin. And she got to she's actually going to the Denver School of the Arts.
Wow.
And she
Congratulations.
thanks. She first got in as an orchestra major, and then she kind of just sat me down and basically told me that she doesn't love violin, but she loves singing. So she re-auditioned for the same school as a vocalist, and she got in.
Wow,
So
dude.
now she's a vocal major.
But
And
she still picks up the violin, right?
she picks up the guitar and she picks up the ukulele, but not the violin anymore.
Wow, dude.
And
I
even
remember,
even the piano, she plays a little piano as well.
dude, I remember we were having a conversation when you came to a Death Angel show in Denver. You showed me a video of her on the street playing violin, and we had a good conversation. You were like, dude, she makes more money than I do.
Yeah, man. Like there was a day, like, I mean, she would average about $200 for going out there for maybe like 2 or 3 hours.
Wow.
And one day she made like $500 and bought an iPad like that day. Like, and one time, this was a funny story. She's like, because I had been taking her out there like every weekend. So she started like having a lot of money, and she just kept it like all these crumpled up bills on her dresser. And I came into her room, and her room was a mess. And I'm like, hey, baby girl, you're going to have to clean your room. And so she looked over at her pile of cash, and she's like, how much is a maid?
Dude, baller.
Yeah.
What a baller, dude.
And
Well,
I was just like, no, you got to clean it yourself. You can't hire a maid.
dude, well, that's awesome, man. Did she pick all that up from you, or was it something you said, we want you to get into music, or was it something it was on her own?
I wanted her to get into music, and I originally wanted her to play piano, but the teacher was also a violin teacher and said that it's for someone that young, the piano is really hard on their tendons, and that she would recommend violin.
Okay.
So I gave her the choice. I said, "Do you want to do piano or violin?" It's kind of like when you want, it's like if you want your kid to eat greens, instead of saying like you have to eat this, you say, "Oh, do you want asparagus or broccoli?" It's like, so it makes them feel like they had a choice.
Oh, gotcha. Good one.
And so, yeah, I made it feel like she could choose which one she wanted, and she chose violin. So she did that for about 10 years.
Wow. Now she's a vocal major.
Yeah, now she's a vocal major.
Oh, is she going to be the next Adele, bro?
I don't know if she wants to pursue it as a career like I did, but whatever she wants to do, I'm 100% behind her.
Well, dude, that is awesome. Congratulations to you and her.
Thank you.
And dude, first of all, thank you for taking time out on Saturday to chat and hang out.
My pleasure, man. I can't wait to hang out for real.
Dude, I can't wait to hang out too. I mean, the world's slowly opening up. Hopefully we always, either I come to Denver where you're living at and you see us, but I'm just hoping we run into each other at a festival where we could hang and watch each other's bands play and just.
That's what I'm hoping for too. And the crazy thing is like a lot of, like in metal, there's all these subgenres of metal, and the fans are like, I like this genre of metal and I don't like anything else except for this.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, when you go to festivals, like all the bands are hanging out together, and like they don't, it's like we're hanging out with black metal bands or like new metal bands or whatever, and it's like nobody cares about that.
No one does, dude, because you know what? I mean, I'm at a point now in my life, I don't care about that. Life's too short.
Exactly.
It's good to see some friends, and it's good to see friends doing what they love to do, and vice versa. You know what I mean? We support each other, and that's important to me now. Instead of, like you said, when you talked about earlier with Machine Head, the egos got to you, man. Leave the egos. Let's just go hang out, bro. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I'm 100% about that.
Let's just go hang out. No drama, no vibe, and I can't wait to get out there, to play, because, just to go a little bit, the pandemic made me think about a lot of things. It sucked being, the shutdown, but it made me rethink about everything. Like I started doing the stream, I started having fun, just having conversations, interacting with the fans online, and I just said, you know what, man, life's too short, because I hope this doesn't happen again. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when we get back out there, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm getting vaccinated, so I want to get back out there. I want to see you and hang out with you and talk about some days, and I want to hang out with Diego, but not with his dog. I heard his dog bites people. That beautiful Rottweiler.
Yeah, she bit me a little bit. It wasn't like a hard bite, but she kind of basically told me that she's a badass.
All right. But yeah, so I can't wait. Congratulations on Lines at the Gate.
Thank you so much.
And dude, anyone, please check out Lines at the Gate. My buddy Ahrue with Diego and Christian, who were in El Nino. And if you like what I played earlier, the Horde of Torment, which I like.
Right on, man.
Go look for them if you want. I mean, it's not on Spotify, but check out YouTube has some stuff. That's where I got it. But luckily, I have the re-release of your demos, so I was able to play it. Check out the Horde of Torment. Ahrue, hang out for a bit when we end.
Sure.
Everyone, say bye-bye to Ahrue, a good friend of mine. And Ahrue, thank you again, dude. Appreciate it.
For sure.
All right, man. Everyone, so enjoy your Saturday. Thank you for watching live and streaming with my man Ahrue, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right. See you later. Thanks a lot.